All right, what is up, Facebook, YouTube, and for once I'm live on Instagram. Hey, Luke, what's up, buddy? All
Hey
right,
everybody.
all right. Tell my viewers who you are and what you do.
Hey everyone. My name is Circuit Preacher and I run a electronic project. I make industrial EBM music and I live in Virginia in the US.
Hey, Kyler. All right. So right off the bat, you have a new EP coming out in a couple of weeks. What can you tell us about it?
So I've been working on developing my sound over the last year, and the full length will be out in May.
Mm,
So I'm working on that currently. So I've put out 11 tracks so far. I have a couple collaborations coming, but the full length will be out in May. Yep.
all right.
So I would
Was it?
expect
Mhm.
I would expect some things a little bit leaning more towards the past 4 or 5 tracks that I've put out. But I've got some really exciting stuff. I can't wait to release. You know how it is. It's hard to be patient with releasing stuff, but I can't wait to share it in May.
For sure. So was there some significance to your when your EP comes out, the date, the February 2nd, or is that just a random date?
Oh no, that's a random date.
Okay.
So since about June, I've been trying to do a song pretty much every month, so 4 to 6 weeks, and that's just when it fell on February.
All right. And let's talk about this cover art for a minute. I can actually pop it up real quick. Oh, I love that. It reminds you of like a video game, is what it looks like.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking.
Yeah.
I mean,
So who did that image?
that was actually made by my wife. She runs Electronic Body Memes, and so it's been a lot of fun working on the art for some of the singles. We'll just brainstorm and see what we can come up with. Yeah.
All right. And you just dropped "Made to Burn" a couple weeks ago. So how's the reception been on that?
I think it's been pretty good. I mean, it was a little bit different for me, but I'm trying to write what um, I guess what my subconscious or I want to write instead of trying to think about it being really a formula
Mm,
for songwriting. So that one just kind of came about through kind of thinking about the story of Judas. You could almost think about a couple other characters that were intentionally created as vessels of damnation. Like
mm,
their intent was to serve a purpose that they didn't even necessarily want to do, but that was the purpose given to them and it was predestined. So I kind of read it from that perspective.
okay. Now I have to ask, Circuit Preacher, where'd that come from? How'd you pick that as your project name?
Right. So there were definitely some early names. I'm not going to share some of them because they were trash. But I think we settled on this one because it just made the most sense with it being electronic and also um, just the subject matter. I mean, I can't escape it. I grew up going to in a lot of different denominations, and so the term circuit preacher or circuit rider comes from mostly two denominations, but most of the circuit preachers in the past were Methodist. So
Mm,
these were pastors that would go around a circuit going to different churches um, because churches couldn't afford to have a pastor at one church,
mm,
and a lot of them would only live to be 30 or 35. I mean, they literally lived like cowboys. It's pretty crazy if you look up the history of it, but I just thought it fit, so figured why not.
yeah, why not?
Yep.
So you're with Dark Tunes, right?
Yes.
How'd that come about?
So how did I meet Raf? I probably met Raf through meme pages and Twitch streams and things like that. And so we connected, and I told him I was working on some music, and he would say, send me some tracks when you've got them finished. So
Yeah.
we would just send stuff back and forth. This was probably about a year ago now, because I launched the project like exactly a year ago is when I
Mhm.
the first single. And so I sent that to him. He really liked it. And then that kind of began a conversation. We went back and forth for months until um I guess Take Control really was our first thing that we released together. And that was,
Mhm.
all the way from January to June felt like a very long time because I've just got a bunch of songs I'm sitting on and I want to release them, but I'm trying to do it methodic.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right. What inspired you to make music?
What inspires me to make music? Mm.
Yeah, like did you hear a particular song or something growing up and you're like, I want to do that?
Yeah, I think I guess I was definitely influenced a lot by metal bands early on. So thankfully, I had an uncle that actually showed me cool stuff in the middle of, um, I'd say my household didn't necessarily have a lot of alternative music going on in it.
Mhm.
So, learning about Pantera and Metallica and Sepultura and, Rob Zombie and at a young age,
Mhm.
I thought it was pretty cool, but kind of typical there. But I think I've always been inspired by artists that they felt something within them and they were vulnerable enough to share it. And that
Mhm.
that impacts you. I know there's songs
Right.
for me that when I was a teenager, I'm like, I don't know what I would do if I didn't find this song, and somebody saying something the same way that I felt. So
Mhm.
I think that's like my main motive is kind of therapeutic, cathartic for myself, but also I hope that something I write, affects someone positively or helps them through something.
Mhm.
But other than that, I love heavy bass rhythms. I love grooves. So that's kind of the music side of it.
Is so you said you're in Virginia, right?
Mhm.
Is there much of a music scene in Virginia, or do you have to travel a lot?
Um, I would say Richmond has a
Mhm.
pretty good scene. There's several venues, lots of underground stuff. I mean, there's tons of hardcore, black metal, um, you know, indie, goth. I mean, I guess compared to where I grew up, which was much more rural in North Carolina,
Mhm.
it's far more. I was used to when I was in high school, I'd have to travel 3 hours to go to a concert. And that was
Mhm.
normal that, you're going to be dead tired. You smell like cigarettes. It's just so long of a drive home.
Mhm.
But now, I mean, gosh, we live 15 minutes from uh, Fallout, which is an awesome bar here.
Mhm.
Really unique stage. It's like lower than the audience a little bit. So it just has a lot different of an atmosphere. I know there's a couple venues in Virginia Beach too. So I don't know how familiar you are with Virginia, but
Not
I'm
at all.
okay. Well, I live over on the eastern side. So we're about 2 hours from DC. So it doesn't take long to go up to DC or Philly. We actually went up there last weekend to see Gen Cab,
Mhm.
one of my friends play at the Coven Dark Dance Party. I think that's where I met your buddy. So
Yep.
yeah, that
Speaking
venue
of
was
my
amazing
buddy, he
too.
can't wait to go to Fallout.
Do what?
Speaking of my buddy Luke, he can't wait to go to Fallout.
Yeah, Fallout's really cool. It's like completely themed out. Um, Jackie and her husband do an amazing job there.
All right, I'm gonna say this now. Anyone watching, if you have comments, questions, concerns, throw them up in the comments whenever. Yeah. All right. If you were an animal, what animal and why?
If I was an animal,
Yep.
um, I guess I'll stick with my answer since I was little, which would probably be a scorpion, maybe. I mean, they just look badass. So I'll go with that. Keep it simple.
All right, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
All right. Where can people find you and stay up to date with what you're putting out?
So I'd say I'm most active on Instagram. That's just what I'm most familiar with, and then I check Facebook when I can. But yeah, I'm on all the major streaming platforms. So if you're on Spotify, Apple, Bandcamp, um, Amazon Music, I have had a couple people message me about Amazon Music. So I've never used it, but I guess
That's what I was listening to you on
okay.
earlier.
Yeah, I've never tried it, but fair enough. Um, but yeah, any of those major ones, you should be able to find me. Yeah, Bandcamp too.
All right. Is there anything we haven't really touched on that you wanted to talk about? I feel like we blew through this a bit.
Oh, um, let's see what. So where are you located at?
I'm up in Maine.
Maine. Okay, and what are some of the venues up there that you like?
My favorite venue up this way has got to be Aura. It's like this club that does different nights and stuff. There's some
Okay.
They have some good bands. I've seen Avatar there a couple of times.
Oh, I love Avatar.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
yeah,
I've got a signed drumhead right there.
that's awesome.
Yeah, they're freaking cool. Yeah, they play some weird shows, but they have some good shows.
Right, they do get on some really interesting tour packages. You're right.
I was very confused when I saw Avatar with Devin Townsend, but Devin was doing acoustic.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, what is happening? I mean, mad love to Heavy Debbie, but like he's doing an acoustic set right before Avatar. What?
That's pretty interesting. I mean, I guess I don't know. Maybe you get bored of playing gigantic rock shows. You just want to do something different for a tour.
Luke says he had a Hawaiian shirt on.
Oh, Devin Townsend did?
Apparently.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's who we were gonna go see right before the pandemic initially.
Mm.
Um so yeah, how long have you been doing this?
Almost a year. It'll be a
Okay.
year in April.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Comments? Anyone out in the comment section got any questions before we wrap this up? Hopefully, someone asked something. The only other thing I had is, what do you want to say to your fans who watch this?
Thank you all so much for your support. I really, can't even believe it sometimes that, some of the comments and messages I get, it's really encouraging and motivating. I can't wait to share these next tracks with you. I'm really proud of this one coming out in February called Down Here. It's really for anybody who's battled some mental health crises during, I feel like that's the majority of the world at this point.
Pretty
But
much.
it was kind of interesting writing it because if you work on a song, sometimes it lasts longer than
Mm.
you meant. It could take months to finish a song. So it was kind of interesting writing it in a certain place. And by the time I finished it, it's like I've seen other friends go through things, people close to me. And so I feel like it's just affected the song from several different angles. So I'm really excited to share that with everyone. But yeah, please pre-save if you can. That would be awesome. But I do want to say I am not going to let you down on this album. I'm working hard on it. It's not going to be a compilation of the past 10 tracks. It's going to be a lot of fresh stuff, reimagined stuff. So I'm really stoked to share that with you.
Awesome. Kyler wants to know if you do shows in Chester or Richmond. He's in Virginia.
Yeah, I played at Fallout last weekend. Gosh, I don't know why the time seems like it's going so slow, but last weekend with Leather Strip and Damascus Knives at Fallout. And then before that, I played at Fallout maybe 4 months prior.
Mhm.
My next show will be at Coven Dark Dance Party in June. And I have something that I can't announce yet in May, but it stay tuned. It will be public info soon. But yeah, I'd love to play somewhere else in the spring. So hopefully, um, either in North Carolina or maybe around Richmond again. Yep.
All right. Unless anybody had anything else, I guess that's about it.
All right.
Unless you
Well,
have anything else.
I'm good, but I really appreciate you having me on, and it was
Yeah,
great
no
to meet you,
problem.
Eric.
Yeah, you too. You're welcome to hang out after we go off the air, but you definitely don't have to.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.